To show very clearly what you need to look for when you assemble autogrids, we're first going to demonstrate it without liquid nitrogen. The procedure is as follows. I will not use a cover. Also, you could use the cover, but I personally find it easier and quicker to work without the cover, so that I have less contamination. When this is normal operation, this would be filled with liquid nitrogen, and these tools, the tools that you need, would be pre-cooled in the liquid nitrogen, so they would be standing here. You need the autoloader, tweezers, and a pair of standard tweezers. You also can see that they're both insulated. To start, we would come in with grids that have been prepared on the VitroBot, and we would place the grid box in one of these slots, and I normally use the slots that is closest to me. And then we would unscrew the cover and remove that. Then we would place an empty storage box for autogrids in the slot next to it. The next step is that we take an autogrid ring and we place that in the cutout that is designed to fit that ring. You see here there's two side cutouts that can be used to grab the ring and place it. Tweezers. Make sure that the ring nicely falls into place. When this is liquid nitrogen, the nitrogen level will not be covering this. The nitrogen level will only be here in the outside ring, and we would be working in vapor. So now that the ring is in place, we then have to get the grid that we have prepared with the VitroBot, and we have to try to put this in place. And this takes a little bit of practice, and it could jump out, and you might want to, with the tweezers, manipulate it such that it would, like so, really fits inside the ring, so it shouldn't stick out. And you see when it is in place. So this sometimes requires a little bit of playing around with the tweezers and the grid and the ring, so that the whole assembly is nicely aligned and that the grid properly fits the ring, like so. Then we can place these tweezers to the side, and we now have to align the upper disc, so this hole, the alignment tool for mounting the spring, and this is done with the autogrid tweezers, and these tweezers fit this disc, and we give it one rotation, one click, like so. And now this centering tool is directly positioned on top of the autogrid ring and grid. We then come with the pre-assembled insertion tool. So you see that there should be an autogrid C-clip spring at the tip, and this tool needs to be cooled down. Now there's a quick way of doing it, and that's simply dipping it in the outside in the liquid nitrogen and waiting for the glide and frost effect to stop. You could also leave it here in vapor. In this area we would have nitrogen vapor for it to cool down in the vapor. Now, especially when you have very thin grids with a very thin ice film that can break quite easily, it is advised to cool these tools down in vapor, because once we place it on top and we press, there can be some pressure buildup inside the tool which blows out most of the ice film in the tool. And especially if you have cooled it down in liquid, there can be some liquid inside of that tool which might increase the pressure. Now once the tool is cooled, we place it straight on top of the grid, like so, and gently press down until we hear a click. There was a click. And then remove it. Don't do this fast, but really slowly go down and do this gently. The more gently you do this, the more of your grid will stay intact. So now that the cartridge is fully assembled, what we need to do now is we need to rotate this disc back like so, and then we can grab with the autogrid tweezers. There is a cutout here at the bottom, and we can nicely pick up that grid on the edge and then place it in the autogrid storage box. And that is one assembly. So now that we've done one assembly, let me show another one, but a bit quicker. So for a second grid, we again take a ring. We then pick up an EM grid from the storage box and place it on the ring. We then rotate the alignment disc on top. We take a next pair of pre-prepared insertion tool with a spring on it that needs to be cooled down. Once it's cold, place it on the top, press down until you hear the click, click. Rotate the disc back, and we have our second cartridge that we put in the storage box, and so on until we have assembled all our grids.